The sun rises over the dusty plains of Pella, where the air is thick with the scent of olive trees and the distant murmur of horses. This is where you are born, but you aren't like the other children. Your eyes are sharp, your cries are fierce, and you are destined to be the greatest
King
ruler
in
of
the
all
castle.
time. But if you knew what was in store for you, you might want to stay in the cradle a little more. After all, this would be the last time you'd be allowed to be just a boy. For you are Alexander the Great. You are destined to conquer the world or die trying. Your father, King Philip II, is a cunning politician and a hardened warrior. He sees you as the heir of his empire. That responsibility also comes with a dream to conquer the kingdom of Persia. At the time, Persia was a superpower that was renowned for its scientific discoveries and philosophies, not to mention it was backed by a formidable military that was determined to crush the Greeks. No pressure, right? Your mother, Queen Olympias, believes you're destined for greatness,
Oh,
and
yeah.
perhaps even divinity. She has a lot of faith in you, and you don't know whether to feel happy or get scared, considering there are rumors that your father might be the king of gods, Zeus himself. And your mother's attitude isn't helping with those rumors. From the moment you can talk, your life is only about training, hardship, and preparation. Your father hires the best tutors for you, including none other than Aristotle, who teaches you philosophy and the art of war. He also teaches you to treat non-Greeks as slaves, but you just ignore this and move on to other important subjects, such as horseback riding, sword fighting, rhetoric, and mathematics. But this isn't some cushy private school. It is the survival of the fittest. And if you fail, you will face the wrath of your father, something you do not want to face under any circumstances. By the time you are 12, you have tamed the wild horse Bucephalus. Not even the grown-ups could tame him, but you did. This impresses your father, but your journey is far from over. After all, taming a measly wild horse should be child's play for you. Your teenage years are a blur of military campaigns, political intrigue, and the constant pressure to prove yourself. At 16, you are left in charge of
King in the
Macedon while
castle.
your father is off conquering Byzantium. At 18, you lead your first cavalry charge at the Battle of Chaeronea, where you crush the Theban sacred band. Just when you think your life is getting a little better, your parents get separated. Your mother is devastated and you try to console her, while your father is going to
Yeah,
get married to his
boy.
new wife. You have a huge fight with your father during his wedding ceremony, and he kicks you out, killing any dreams you had for the throne. Eventually, it all gets sorted out and he still allows you to stay in the country, but you're not the favorite for the throne anymore. At the age of 20, your father is dead, assassinated under mysterious circumstances. Tensions are arising in the kingdom. The Macedonians need their new king. You are young and untested, and many of your father's advisors doubt your ability to rule. So you must act quickly. You eliminate potential rivals, crush revolts, and assert your authority. It's a brutal and bloody process, but you succeed. You are now the
King in
king
the
of
castle.
Macedon, but the weight of responsibility is crushing. You're not just a ruler, you are a conqueror, and the world is waiting for you to prove yourself. No pressure, right? As a leader, you are isolated and alone. You have loyal companions, but they are not your equals. They will not see you as their friend, but as a king. They worship you, fear you, and follow you to the ends of the earth, but they can never truly understand you. You are a man apart, destined for greatness, but cursed with the weight of it. Your father left you a powerful army, but you are determined to outdo him. You crush the revolts in Greece, raze Thebes to the ground as a warning to others, and then set your sights on the greatest empire the world has ever known, Persia. Your father's dream shall now be your reality. You led your army to Persia. You are confident that your army will win, despite being outnumbered. The Persian army's standards have fallen in the last century, and your army consists of skilled archers, javelin throwers, and heavy cavalry. You are ready. And at the end of a long and bloody war, only you and your army were left standing. The Persian army, once the best in the world, now stains the battlefield, squashed like a pesky mosquito. You had sent a message to the world, and already you could see its effects. The Persian king Darius III was so scared of you that he left his wife and children. His mother was so ashamed of him that she publicly disowned him and adopted you as her child. You have a soft spot for your mother, and so when someone else calls you her child, you gracefully accept that title because being a son was more precious to you than being an
King in the
emperor. You
castle.
realize that you are only conquering because of the wish of your mother. You realize that you became Alexander the Great because of your father and mother, but you will know whether they love you or not. But you have no time to dwell on these thoughts, because you need to get back to work and conquer the entirety of Persia. Conquering Persia is a big achievement, but one that comes at a great cost. You have to forge your army across 1,000 miles of enemy ground, engaging battle after battle. The weather is cruel, the fighting is brutal, and the toll on your men is immense, but you drive them forward. Always forward. You are following a dream, a vision of glory yet unseen by men, but the reality is far from glorious. The battles are bloody and exhausting, the victories hard won, and the deeper you advance, the more your men begin to question your leadership. They are exhausted, they are homesick, they are disillusioned, but you cannot halt your advance. You are guided by relentless ambition, a desire to prove yourself, to become the greatest of all time. The king of Persia is so threatened by you that he asked for peace many times, but each time you rejected him. For you, conquering Persia was all that mattered. You faced off against him again. This time he had the largest Persian army to ever exist. Whichever side wins will rule Egypt. You are ready for this and ultimately lead your men to victory. Darius again tried to flee the battle, but his own men killed him. Cowards have no place being kings, after all. You have now conquered Persia, or so you have thought, because another ruler, Bessus, had already claimed the throne while you were chasing Darius. All that hard work, only for some random dude to take over the throne. You chased down this Bessus and his armies and ultimately captured him and killed him. But your problems were not finished. You allowed Persians to govern their territory in exchange for their loyalty, which they agreed. But the Greeks were not happy with this decision. They didn't want Persians to be treated as equals to the Greeks. Rather, they wanted them to either convert to Greeks and become slaves. You, being an intellectual, know that Persians are more advanced than Greeks, and they could really help in the improvement. But your popularity with your own people is dying out. One of your generals insulted you while being drunk in front of your army. In a fit of rage, you ended him. This just increases your tension with the native Macedonians. You thought of an idea to improve the relations between the Macedonians and the Persians, and what better way to improve their relations than by making them marry each other? This backfired in a large deal, and soldiers threatened an open rebellion against you. But they don't just call you Alexander the Great for nothing. You replace them with Persian soldiers, and seeing this, they backed off from their threats. You, on the other hand, know the importance of your soldiers, so you organize a dinner and give them back their titles. But the growing tensions with the locals were still not over, and you thought what better way to clear the rifts than leading them to world glory? This was not easy because your army was physically exhausted. However, the treasures of the Persians and their army make you believe that it is possible. And the thing is, you brought down the most powerful army in the world down to its knees. There's nothing that could stop you. No one who can stand up to you. So you proudly marched with your armies to the Indian region. But as you entered the Indus Valley, you realized that you had a disadvantage. Porus was an Indian king who ruled the region between the Hydaspes, Jhelum, and Akasines, Chanabi rivers. Porus's army was strong with elephants almost crushing your armies. You had cavalry, but it wasn't enough to defeat King Porus. You realized the power of the Indian empires and realized that you might not win this war. So you decided to back down from this fight and return to Macedonia. But you made a promise to your people and you can't back down now. You need to conquer India. You fight with Porus countless times until you eventually defeat him, according to the Greek historians, but there is no mention of it in Indian history. So much so that even the record of this war was not recorded in the Nalanda University of India. Many believe that Greek historians don't want the tag of undefeated from you going down, so they lie that you made Porus your ally after defeating him in the war. Whatever the truth was, your world conquest dream was over. Your army doesn't have the strength to continue, so you decided to go back. The physical toll of your campaigns is immense. You're wounded in battle, your body battered and broken. You started drinking, trying to numb the pain both physically and emotionally. Your pain doesn't end as your best friend, Hephaestion, died of an illness, possibly typhoid fever. He was your closest friend, the only person who truly understood you. His death leaves a void that nobody else can fill. You ordered a royal funeral in his honor, but it was not enough. The pain is just too great. By the time you return to Babylon, you're just a shadow of your former self. You're still 32 years old, but somehow you feel ancient. Your body is failing you and your mind is clouded. Your empire is teetering on the edge of collapse. You have conquered most of the world, but at what cost? Your men are exhausted, your treasury is drained, and your dreams of reaching the ends of the earth are shattered. And then one day you fall ill. Doctors are trying their best to save you, but it's not enough. You can feel the death approaching, and somewhere deep inside you, you welcome it with open arms. You survived battle after battle, leading the Macedonian Empire to its glory, but in the process, you lost yourself. You never had your own dreams. All you wanted was to make your parents proud. But what was the point of it all if they were not there to see it? You don't know if it's malaria or poison, but you just want it all to be over. You meet your troops for the last time. You can't talk, but you waved at them. It was emotional for soldiers. Some of them were following you for more than a decade. The last thing you said to them was a cheeky comment. I am dying by the help of too many physicians. And soon after that, you were dead. Your empire, the greatest the world has ever known, is divided among your generals. In the end, your legacy is a mixed one. On the one hand, you are remembered as one of the greatest military commanders who conquered most of the world and changed the course of history. On the other hand, the price you paid for your greatness and glory was almost everything. But soon after your death, your empire collapses, torn apart by infighting and betrayal. Your dream to unify the world dissipated to nightmarish chaos, and your legacy was destroyed. Thousands of years later, the world does remember you, but maybe the cost to achieve that was never worth it in the first place.